Today is a beautiful day and we're talking baseball. Welcome everyone, I'm Hugo. This is Signs of the Pastime. And today I'm making video responses for a couple of my friends here on YouTube. One is for Dan at Osage Collects and the other one's for Scott over at Reindeer Studios. So stick around, we're gonna have some fun. I'm outdoors finally. The last few videos I've been inside the house, getting cabin fever. So it's nice to be out, seeing the nice blue sky. So let's get into it pronto, because today I'm repping Toronto. All right, whatever, just let's go. All right, so you're probably wondering, why am I wearing a Toronto Blue Jays jersey? Well, it kind of has to do with Scott's video response, but also has to do with Dan's. See, in 1977, the Toronto Blue Jays came into existence. And that was a great year because that's also the same year that I came into existence. Yes, I am that old. And for Dan's contest, he wants us to show 4 cards that are graded a 4. And when I thought about this, I said, well, let me talk about the last 4 years of the vintage era. People consider 1980 as the start of vintage, going back. And so 77, 78, 79, and 80. Those are the 4 years I'm going to focus on. And I'm going to show 4 cards of 4 players. And this is really out of the ordinary for me because I'm not really into graded cards or rookie cards, but today I'll be showing graded rookie cards. All right, so I'm gonna turn this around and I'm gonna show you what cards I have. I got a nice wall right here to have the cards propped up against. I got a little ahead of myself and I failed to mention why Dan is having this contest. And it's because he's celebrating surpassing 400 subscribers. So congrats Dan on the milestone. And in addition to showing 4 cards, he wants us to shout out 4 channels. So here we go. The first card I want to show is this Dennis Martinez rookie card, which is graded a 4. It's from 77 Tops. Denny Martinez, El Presidente, who was a very inspirational player for me as a kid because I knew that he was the first player born in Nicaragua to make the major leagues. And that meant something to me because at that time, no player from Brazil had made the majors. So I thought I was going to be that first Brazilian-born player to make it. And of course, that honor went to Yan Gomes, who was drafted and came up with none other than the Toronto Blue Jays. Dennis Martinez is one of the greatest Latin pitchers of all time. He grew up idolizing Juan Marichal, and that's who he passed on the all-time wins list for a Latin-born pitcher. He ended his career with 245 wins, and he was on number 1 on the list for many years until Bartolo Colon surpassed him. He even pitched a perfect game, being one of only 24 pitchers in the history of baseball that have accomplished that feat. Now, the first guy I want to shout out is Gordon. His channel is the Athlete Archives. You guys got to check him out. He does deep dives into players just like this, like Dennis Martinez, and he tells the most fascinating stories about them. The next player was actually Dennis's teammate in Baltimore for a few years, and that is Eddie Murray. His is 78 Topps rookie card, graded a 4. I think it looks pretty good. I've always liked this card. Steady Eddie, as he was known, because of his consistent play that led him all the way to the Hall of Fame as a first ballot guy. There have only been 7 players in the history of baseball to hit 500 home runs and 3,000 hits, and Eddie Murray is the only switch hitter on that list. The next guy I want to shout out is a fan of another great switch hitter in Mickey Mantle, and that is Doug over at Video Guy 316. Please go check out Doug. I love his videos. He's a really nice guy. He's very supportive, and he does a great job with his editing. Keep up the great work, Doug. Now, a fascinating fact between Eddie Murray and the next player is that they were high school teammates at Locke High School in Los Angeles, and that is Ozzie Smith. Can you imagine that high school team with Eddie Murray and Ozzie Smith playing together? Unbelievable. Now, this is Ozzie's rookie card out of 79 Topps, graded a 4, but check it out. This thing is centered with a double D. I think Dylan would definitely approve of this centering. I know I do. Anyway, more about Ozzie. We all know he was a great ball player. 13 consecutive Gold Gloves, a Hall of Famer, and he won the Roberto Clemente Award in 1995, which tells you everything you need to know about this man on and off the field. Just a class act through and through. The Wizard of Oz. Instantly, I think of my good friend Rob, the commenting collector, but I have shouted him out a few times, so I want to shout out a different Rob, the baseball time traveler. If you're not familiar with Rob's channel, please head on over right now. You'll be in for such a treat. Like the Wizard of Oz, he takes you on a journey back in time through baseball history, and he does such a great job with it all. He's truly a historian and truly a gentleman. Make sure you check out Rob, the baseball time traveler. And that brings us to the fourth player, and that is Rickey Henderson. Here's his 1980 Topps rookie card, graded a 4. And what can I say about Rickey Henderson that he hasn't already said about himself?
I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Well, he was the greatest leadoff hitter and the greatest base stealer, so he wasn't completely wrong. I mean, after all, he did demolish Lou Brock's stolen base record, achieving godlike status in baseball, which brings me to my fourth shout out, and that is for Lou over at Godlike Collectibles. Lou and I have very similar collecting styles. We're very budget conscious collectors, and we always look for a great deal, and we try to be patient and not go above our means. And Lou has some really great advice on his channel, and he does some great content. So please head over to his channel and tell him that Hugo sent you. There you have it, my 4 cards from the last 4 years that players only had one true rookie card. After 1980, things changed a bit. And I also like getting cards graded at a 4. That's the sweet spot for me. I'm not really concerned about the grade. I just want the cards, and I want it to be budget friendly. So I got these for less than what I was finding them raw, actually. So I'm happy. And I'm happy for my best amigo, Scott from Reindeer Studios. He's celebrating being on YouTube for 5 years and surpassing 1,500 subscribers, which is an awesome achievement. Congrats, amigo. Keep it up. I love everything that you do. For your contest, my favorite uniforms are actually right there on the right-hand side. The throwback Padres have always been my favorite from the National League, and the throwback Oakland A's have been my favorite from the American League. But if I had to pick one overall, I would have to go with the Oakland A's. I've mentioned before that I like their colors because it's the same as the Brazil colors of green and yellow. So I guess my upbringing in Brazil and that programming really stuck with me because to this day, I really like the yellow and green. This Flags of the World card from 1959, I originally got one of these from Dan, and then I recently got another one from my friend Dre. So now I have 2 in my collection, and I also want to show this tobacco card that I got from Dan a while back. And I want to leave these right up here by the Rickey Henderson, because there's something else I wanted to talk about before ending this video, and that is Uncle Mike, Dan's uncle, Mike Morgan. And look at the team that he played for, the Blue Jays. Now I also got this card from Dan, and what's interesting is Uncle Mike played with all 4 of these guys at one time. He played with Rickey Henderson in Oakland in 1979. In 1995, he played with Ozzie Smith in St. Louis. In 1990 and 91, he played with Eddie Murray in the Dodgers. Now, you might think he never played with Danny Martinez, but in 1991, they were both on the National League All-Star team. Pretty cool that Uncle Mike played with each one of these guys. Imagine the cool stories he has to tell. Now, remember earlier when I said that Danny Martinez pitched a perfect game? Well, he pitched against the Dodgers. And guess who the opposing pitcher was that day? That's right, Mike Morgan. He actually pitched a gem himself and had a perfect game going until the 6th inning when Ron Hassey broke it up with a base hit. Now, Ron Hassey was part of another perfect game 10 years earlier in 1981, and that was Len Barker's perfect game from Scott's Cleveland Indians. And who did he pitch a perfect game against? That's right, the Blue Jays. That's all I got for you. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this video. Congrats again to Dan and Scott. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day. Finally outdoors. Still a beautiful day. It always is a beautiful day, especially when you're talking baseball. All right, till next time, take care.